Hello, hello, and welcome back to Nature's Galaxy. I'm your host and talkative friend Luna. Thank you so much for stopping by and trusting me with your cards. Again, Aquarius Cancer placement people. So, I completely forgot when using the Kitten Tarot that it already had a message waiting. So, my deck is all kinds of upside down, it's not neat. It's upside down. There's cards upright, and even if I flip it to the other side, so Death card right here, Justice right here. So just putting it out there. So when I start shuffling, it's just like, oh wait, I see this card. I see this card. Is that one flipped over? Is this so? Letting divine timing play out. So just maybe a background music, maybe a background noise to how I shuffle the cards coming up. So I have most of them laid out, but of course I'm going to be using the cats as reference. So when shuffling the cards the other day, the Kitten Tarot, I remember the Eight of Pentacles came out of the deck, but it came out in the reverse. So if you watch other channels, you know what that means in terms of, oh, the rehearsal. Interesting. The reversals, when they start coming out, you really have to see that knowledge as matter of fact or completely orthodox to what the actual meaning would be. So, with the Eight of Pentacles in reverse, especially in this deck in particular, it is a kitten that is watering their garden and being content, working hard, basically in the middle of the day. When it came out in reverse, of course, like most of the cats have eyebrows, but how the picture was framed through my eyes was that the cat was very upset. And the term that came through was, it doesn't matter how much money you have, certain crops are not going to last. They're not going to be here. They're not going to grow properly. Like the cat was very mad. So if there are conversations about food scarcity, yes, 2027 is a time of financial literacy, but what's also coming out now is you need to know networking. You need to know where your resources are. No one likes being told what to do, especially when you know what you're doing. So, what was coming through with the Eight of Pentacles in reverse again was, instead of things growing naturally, they're growing obtuse. We see the shortening of certain things, whether it is, things actually not blooming properly. This can be seen in different micro and macro scenes of education of certain funds that are happening here in the States. Certain crops are not bearing the proper fruit because time is not being spent on them properly. So with Taurus placements, they have had Uranus in their first house. And what I'm beginning to know, if you heard that, that was my wrist that popped for a second. I'm fine. It's fine. What I began to notice was with Uranus and Taurus, it showed Taurus individuals where there was a cutoff in growth. It was underdeveloped in a certain way. Do they need a minute because there is healing on the way, because Chiron is going to be shifting from Aries, and it's been in Aries since, I believe, 2015, 2016, and now it's shifting over to Taurus. So a lot of the confusion of Uranus, a lot of the change that has been happening within the earth, around the earth, about the earth, so on and so forth, this Uranus energy is now shifting into Gemini. Gemini card right here. It also has the number 3. And then right next to it, we have Jupiter, which is a 23. So we have 3 and 3, which I also think is funny because the 2 and there's 2 threes. Anyway. Whatever. So we're going to get into the kittens a little more later, but divine timing is playing a huge role in your life right now. And I thought of this several times throughout the day where I'm like, it was a son of a bitch, but you know something, divine timing, I'm glad you're here. I'm happy to see you. So divine timing is going to work really well with our energy as Jupiter goes into Leo and Uranus slowly moves into Gemini, where everybody else is kind of falling into chaos. You're just like, wow, I'm learning so much. Everybody's talking right now. You don't mind the cesspool. Now, to a certain degree, obviously, you do, because there's such a huge channel in terms of learning right now. Everything that was hidden, everything that was kept from the light of the sun is now coming up again. For you, you're seeing the small crops as something you can build on, the micro and the macro, where other people are going to struggle. For you guys, it's like a playground. That's what's coming up for you with certain sextiles and trines that are going to be happening for the next year with Jupiter in Leo moving soon. I will also mention with the Gemini energy, actually, not really with the Gemini energy. This has more to do with the trine and the transition. The transition between Cancer and Leo, for me, that I've always noticed ever since I started studying astrology, is that we're very clumsy prone, accident prone, uh, mistake prone. So be very mindful of your communication, or maybe, very simply just stop talking. I mean that in the most respectful way possible, because it's not even the whole discussion of you can't out talk stupid. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that harsh for our energy because we have so much to do. You have this Jupiterian flair now where it's just like a, but where other people want to play with swords, you're just going to for sure rely on your air qualities, move around the objects, surf, if you will, through the emotions of what's going on around you. You're going to feel these tugs and pulls between different power dynamics. But again, if anybody's also cross watching this reading, it's just not, it's just part of the obstacle field. And not even the obstacle field, the playground. Big playground energy going on for Aquarius Cancer placements. If you have Gemini in your chart, the change with how you have been communicating with people, it's so hit or miss. It's so intense, or it's so nullified. Is that the proper term? Is that the proper adjective for that sentence? Either way. It's very much giving you don't know how lucky you are even though you're sad. I used to listen to a song called Lucky by Britney Spears when I was younger. You might be giving a lot of that energy right now. If you don't know that song, it's okay. But I am very convinced at times that um, we can at, hypnotize ourselves into certain things or out of things. And I think with Britney Spears, she was just trying to tell us in the sweetest Libra way possible that something is very wrong. Anyway, divine timing. You are in the place, any place, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. You have just the natural nudge to just be like, oh, okay, I should go do this. And it all works out for you. So you can have an attitude here and there. You can push some of the water here and there. Of course, be mindful of what I'm getting is just like not saying anything. You don't really have to combat anyone right now. If someone's trying to get in your face, if someone's trying to get a reaction out of you, people are learning from you. People are recognizing your best quality, your micro macro quality of just like, I think I should study this because it's going to be a bigger part of everyone's well-being later on for me to focus and or study on X, Y, and or Z. You have found yourself, or you need to find yourself into the rhythm of your divine purpose. If you have been out of alignment and or you have been overindulging in procrastination, your distractions, it's time for you to get back to your passions at the end of the day, or at least find a way to convince your neurons, to convince the energy within you, the power within you, to be like, hey, in 2 weeks, I think we should do this. Again, divine timing wants to work with you. So maybe you have a little bit of like some grudge holding of just like, oh, I've done this before. Oh, it's not going to happen this time. Okay, you got to pivot here and there. You can't be so dogmatic. You can't be so hung up on one outcome. And I think that's just a reminder for everybody. I know I had to hear it the other day, but it's comforting. It's comforting to hear the truth. Like, okay. But I have this weird thing with like harsh truth, and I'm just like, ah, thank you. Finally, someone ripped off the band aid. And of course, there's a difference of like being mean and telling the truth. But I am still, I still have an open ear to be like, sometimes you don't know. Sometimes let's go back, let's circle it, let's underline it, let's highlight it for a second. Okay. So with delete the thread, hang up, block, erase, repeat. There's something going on online or in some kind of work thing. Let's get some clarifiers here, but there is justice here as well, and we have the magician here. Has something to do potentially with other people wanting you to get offline, and it doesn't have to be like malicious or anything. It's just you're wearing yourself to death. That's what they're thinking. You're wearing yourself to death with all of these power grabs, and it's time for you to make your own way. It's time for you to stand in your own truth. Find time to still have fun. You know how some people are just like, you gotta stay mad in situations like this, but it's like telling somebody who doesn't speak using their diaphragm. Does that make sense? They can only, they got some jabs, they got some good hooks, but they still never had like a mentor, a teacher, something like that. Or, you know, they don't live, you don't even go here. That's what I'm getting. So there could be some my brain was like, there's some kind of testosterone thing going on here. On the other side of things, that my brain is also just channeling at this time, there are some conflicts going on between you and masculine characters, and you can still be a man watching this, and you're like, yeah, no, I'm definitely having issues with certain guys that I work around, certain guys that I live around, certain men that insert check here, insert rant here, insert this bitch here. Um, so what's the outcome for this? Oh dear. Oh my gosh. The certain earth energies being completely unearthed, unsettled. This card actually came up as well when I was shuffling my cards the other day. There are men who are really losing it because it feels so nauseating when you're an earth sign and it feels like you're upside down. It's like taking a goat and flipping them upside down. Like, what are you doing? But there's something about, and this could also be in terms of politics, where you are right now. People are shaking the money out of the pockets of these King of Pentacles in reverse characters. They are so sick and tired of seeing all of this pan out. There's going to be more people talking, but it looks like there's also forces of emotional and or physical authority here. So, but the King of Swords is nowhere to be found. He is stuck at work. He is working overtime right now as we speak to even come back would still be such massive it'd be clean sweeping, but I don't think it would help. Just putting it out there for someone to recognize. So it's still not the King of Swords, but we have the Seven of Swords here. If this has anything to do with the politics of where you live, yeah, it's that farmer conversation, a farmer union or an agriculture union coming together and holding different people accountable, because they're just like, again, it doesn't matter how much money you have, the crops are dying. I'm looking at this mouse here. He really has like something to say, and they're all kind of like guarding, you know. They're like, look, cat, looking at this mouse here, you gotta let it go, not all things last, shake out these coins. There's a lot of conviction here. Okay. What does the King of Pentacles have to say about that? But I'm fine. Everything's chill with me. Lover's energy. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some rewriting. Something about Gemini energy. Revolts. That's pretty severe, but that's what I heard. Wow. What, and for some of you, if you're in the industry, there's a tech revolt that's also going to be happening as an undercurrent. This is not something that's going to come out for a long time. So if this is happening along your pathway right now, keep mentally moving, keep doing what you have to do. You know what it's giving? It's giving an alleyway jazz moment. Yeah. You're always going to be like 20 steps ahead while they also take a break. You still need to find time to have fun. That Gemini energy is there. I know I'm slipping that in. And you might also have Sagittarius placements, because it's like, how dare you? I could feel it. Look, I told them in the Sagittarius reading, I was already calling them out. And you know what calling them out is? Telling them that they should rest. REST. It stings them. You know, Sagittarius, I think you should rest. Let me say it, that will piss them the fuck off. And I I make sure to ask them every once in a while. Yes, they're going to be mad at me, but they're also still in a grumpy mood anyway. And you need to ask them because their inner vault, it's stuck. And then obviously it's one of those situations where, you know, you turn to your community, you turn to your loved ones, you turn to family, and it's just like, who can understand that my vault is like sealed up tight right now and I need to get this out. That is for a Sagittarius out there, and or if you're dealing with a Sagittarius. Now, if you're dealing with a Sagittarius and they're not blood related or anything like that, or, you know, married into the family or something like that, and you're close to them in terms of like paperwork and or like you grew up together, but even still, if you grew up together, there are a good little bit of them that are pushing people away. Again, just putting it out there. There could be something online in terms of a Sagittarius, but that, again, I don't really know who that's going to resonate with. And coming back to the crops, though. Coming back to the crops. Goodness. Earth is not happy. That's what I heard first thing. Earth is not happy. Things will be brought to a halt. Leo energy now. So something going on in the summertime. Jupiter going into Leo around the summertime. Again, finding time to be with your loved ones and or to rest as certain things come down to a halt, because then again, yes, money will be confronted. I think rent and different things are also going to be confronted in summertime. It's going to be like a domino effect, I feel. So King of Cups, not King of Cups, King of Cups is right here, but what I meant to say was Page of Cups. So we have two Page of Cups here. So there's going to be apologies, there's going to be offerings, there's going to be an extension, there's going to be certain reconciliations, there's going to be a small but big blessing in disguise that is going to shake you at the root for some of you. And or you're creating this, you know, it's coming for you in terms of relationships, networking, business partnerships, but you also need to be careful for some of you on what you do sign. This is not the year of not listening to your discernment. I almost said discretion. So in terms of this Page of Cups energy, you are going to have an easier time again manipulating some of the energy. And anybody who's cross listening, no, I don't mean that in a manipulative way in terms of like evil, like an evil lemon, but you're going to be able to shift the energy to your liking. And what I mean by that is setting your intentions either early in the morning or when you can feel these powerful surges happening within your environment. You're going to be able to speak over them. Once you feel certain waves coming, you'll be able to talk into the void in such a beautiful and positive way for different things to protect you, to guide you, to grow with you. you don't have to be out in the open with a lot of this stuff either. But I also don't think you'll be able to hide it. Paperwork. High Priestess energy, get a lot of different eyes on paperwork. For some of you, you could be taking people to court. You could be signing yourself up with certain groups. You could be collaborating in positive ways. You just want to make sure you have the paperwork for everything you want to do coming up. It does not mean later on it will turn sour, but you want more legitimacy behind your name, behind your work, behind what you are giving to others in terms of solutions, experience, resolve. With the High Priestess here, some of you, your intuition is growing rapidly, naturally. With the High Priestess card here, you're going to be more intuitive in terms of law, in terms of money, in terms of how to also heal your root chakra. This could have been a long time coming. In terms of your love life, where you believe that you and or others are hiding behind work, material things, again, this works out for you if you stay busy and you're not decisive about if you are decisive about certain things, it'll be a little bit easier. If you can't seem to make up your mind about certain things, Jupiter exacerbates it, so might as well, sure, you can call it a health kick, or maybe it's just sticking to a routine of learning and getting shit done. There's going to be more intuitive business ideas that start to come your way. If there are relationship questions, woes, different things like that, a lot of that will be healing by the time Jupiter goes into Leo. You have different people and you have different scenarios coming into your life anyway to distract you from a recent departure, betrayal, heartache. Now, if this is something from the past where the book is closing, the story is closing, the chapter is closing, I don't really know if it's for you or them. For some of you, it's for you. For others of you, you're just like, what the hell? Why the fuck is this? Why does this keep happening? Because they're ending an understanding, a maturity, or an immaturity. There's something about not bringing certain things, discussing certain things in public anymore. There could be more conversations about addressing adults in your life, adult figures, whether they be your parent, whether it's politicians, whether it's such an array of things going on right now. I just feel so overstimulated almost, just still reading into this energy, and it was all from this card right here. Delete the thread, hang up, block, erase, repeat. Some of you have a new job coming in, like I've mentioned. You don't see this coming, but you've been putting in the work for change. For others of you, you could be going back to school. For some of you, you may have just like a few semesters to go and or you're graduating. It is graduation season, Gemini season. Congratulations. Outside of that, the Ace of Pentacles does talk about a new beginning. For some of you, you're wearing a lot of hats. For others of you, you do have certain lovers that are coming in. Now, if there are some people who are in relationships, married, so on and so forth, where they are having these ideas of affairs or different things where there could be like an emotional affair going on as well, different levels, or someone trying to bring you into something, or you're teaching couples, or you're talking to different love experts, the science and the complexities, the natural complexities of love, they're all kind of hitting you right now. And burying yourself in work does seem like the Cancer placement's way to go, and the Aquarian's way to go within you. Like, there's a lot of mental and emotional stimulation, but at the same time, there's something that needs to be so true, something that needs to be very intentional here. You want to play smart. You want to play smart in love, and that's not a bad thing. But it looks like along the way there are some weird, interesting curves and tests. And what did you do? It kind of like almost reverse engineering, but you're peeking into the future and you're given the answer. Now, how do you get there? You can still make the wrong turn and get the wrong answer. But once you start over again, start at the clean slate, can you still make it back to the original answer? Yes, it's very possible. Looks like you're going to do it anyway. Pluto's going to make you do it anyway. Jupiter in the last few degrees of Cancer is going to have you remember fun, which again is just like, oh God. It's it's still opening you up to this accident prone energy. Be very careful when driving. But again, there's something here very much so about communication. Now, I can take that for sure. I can definitely take that. But equally, sometimes when I'm very much just, I don't know, maybe I just don't know when I'm like unintentionally punching somebody with my words. I can admit to that. I have no clue sometimes. Or it's like on the other end where I don't realize it until I've already said it. Then I'm like, damn it, ain't shit I can do about that. Because I get the conviction, especially when you're kind of focused on the moment and you're focused on the truth. But either way, that's just me. It does not have to be you, but seeing as this is all of our energies with the Cancer, Aquarius, X, Y, and or Z, we've run up against this. And I'm definitely seeing this with other Aquarius, Cancer placements as well, where it's just like, bro, do you understand what you're saying right now? Like, hold the fuck up. They don't know. And then sometimes we don't know. And then other times it's just like, no. It was engineered to work out like this. But that is something that is beyond you. And for others of you, you're waking up to how you played the role. Okay, in terms of business, career, money, again, the card here says, I am always at the right place at the right time. Another card in terms of divine timing, everything's coming together smoothly to heal this root chakra, your money blocks, healing yourself. Now, this says, I am the blueprint for success. Different things going on in your life right now where passion is very important. What's that meme going around saying things were getting so bad I had to go and follow my dreams? But then now Jupiter and all its goodness is running after you. Like, hey, can you sustain this abundance? Hey, can you sustain this abundance? Hey, can you sustain this abundance? Hey, can you sustain this? I experience once in a lifetime opportunities multiple times a day. So you are going to have days like this in terms of work, entrepreneurship, and or while you're studying. So there's mental gymnastics here in terms of how you view success or your next path ahead, the blueprint ahead, the gears moving forward and or backward. You know, you could be doing some research into traditional works before the speed entered the chat. I always receive exactly what I asked for or better. You know, interesting enough, the energy that was present as I was reading, but not at the end, was your dreams could feel sinister at times coming up when Jupiter is in Leo. Remember to pray over yourself before you go to sleep, before you go to bed. You need to pray over your spiritual body. You need to pray over your dream body. I always receive exactly what I asked for or better. So, breaking out of old beliefs, breaking out of old mindsets, breaking out of fear, old fear, breaking out of believing that you don't have a community. Now, if you feel like your community to a certain extent is being targeted at this time, yeah, of course you want better. And it seems like the more you hold yourself to a higher standard and you just hold grudges accountable for their mediocrity in terms of low emotional intelligence, low moral action, it's like the sinister energy grows smaller. There's something about that here. Being the first priority is the standard for me. Yeah, you're raising the standard. You're raising your standards. Everything I desire desires me more. I don't think you have wrapped your head around certain people, why they're around, why they keep grabbing your attention. Let me look at this again. Everything I desire desires me more. Yeah, there's certain things that are definitely hiding in terms of the love department. I just feel like it's just different mental games, distractions. Like low key almost who cares? I don't know. It's very much divine timing. It was a son of a gun before you got here. But man, oh man, am I happy to see you. I bury myself and work to forget you. That's what the card says. Take some of those messages that I mentioned earlier, especially if there's couples and or people in marriages. Now, if they're single, can you work around certain people? Again, the messages just seem like they're the same. You know, Venus is coming into Cancer soon, which again is very much, hey, you could still be accident prone coming up, especially if you have Leo placements or as the transition happens between Cancer and Leo. Oh boy. Oh boy. Be careful, be mindful when you're trying to be cute out here, when you're trying to be handsome. Just be comfy cool. Dress with style, dress with a lot of heart. Be airy when it comes down to communications. But when someone starts to impede on your happiness, like your happiness is weird, when you're being normal and you can tell it's a projection, step back. Let people think about what I'm getting is let them think about what they've done. And I know that sounds so kindergarten, but that's what I got. That's the first message that came through in my mind. But at times we do have that 12th house energy with the Aquarius placement where it's just like, look, bruh, life ain't even real sometimes. Or maybe that's just a me thing because I got 12th house placements and Pisces placements. Like, look, what is life? Okay. What what is normal? Point to the person. This person's normal. Are you sure? This person normal. Are you sure? This person, are you sure? Okay, I'm just playing, even though I'm not. But no, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. Let's see. Any other additional messages for this Jupiter Gemini energy? Okay. Excellent. Wonderful. Observe your surroundings. Be fearless. Love that. Good fortune. Good luck. You don't see certain things coming. Not everyone is equally loved. Small victory. Small victories around these people. Be careful with what you tell them about your good luck. Many you do not see certain things coming. Some of you could get a boost in popularity if you're online. Some of you could be invited to a whole bunch of gatherings coming up. Some of you could have a few more off days coming up. You feel like you deserved it. You feel like, man, finally. I've been working hard. I've been working real fucking hard. But you know what? Divine timing. I'm so happy to see you. I put in the time, I put in the effort, and I know people are just like, you don't have to like earn X, Y, and Z. To hell with that. We got the Capricorn energy right here. To hell with that. I have earned this. I have earned this rest. Look, and right before I have to go back and do everything else I need to do, divine timing, I'm happy to see it. Thank you so much for taking the shift. And then for others of you, I don't know. I don't think the quote unquote others of you are even in the chat now or even still here. Because receive, receive, receive. This is what's coming up for us. This is great. This is wonderful. The representation is changing and or it's either again a long time coming in terms of representation and or the fight. I don't know why I had to say that Mortal Kombat style, but here we are. I want to get a few more answers about this love stuff. I don't know why I could wait a minute. Wait a darn 2 minutes. You know what? Whatever. Okay. Any other love messages going on right now? I'm nosy. Are you nosy? Let's be nosy together. Okay. What else with this love energy around us since we have these mini loves, good luck, small victories, and also seeing very clearly that not everyone is equally loved. But you are finding yourself again in the net of passion and what you want to do, how you protect yourself, how you protect you in your own. You can accept where certain people are in their line of work, in their path. Then you can also now see a lot of people's higher selves as well. Or at least you'll have the opportunity. Okay, not everybody. Okay. I lost myself for a while. That's what somebody from the past potentially wants to tell you with this divine timing. Somebody's been asking a lot about you. I don't know to who. It could be a child. It could be a woman. It could be a few women actually. or it could have been from like a stoic man. It's time for me to heal now. So different lovers from the past, they see where you were right. They see your heart. And of course, I mean, for a while they were running real fast with, oh, this person did this wrong. Oh, this person did this wrong. Oh, this person did this wrong. But now, for some reason, as Jupiter is leaving Cancer and going into Leo, they're just like, oh man, I'm a jerk. It's time for me to heal now. I don't know why that energy kind of shifted into like friendships. Because again, this is part of like the love reading. So I guess like to a certain extent for some of you, they could have been a friend and then they realized and they woke up, they were just like, damn, like a friend doesn't do that. What did Olivia Dean say? What did she say? Let alone the one you love. Mm-hmm. We both know I am not, this card always pisses me off. I think for good reason. Because there's sometimes, no, actually, because the intention is different. This card always feels like it's one sided. It's just like, you bitch. You dickhead. You asshole. We both know I'm not the one for you. What fucking chauvinistic piece of shit is this? Whatever. Whatever. Did I do the thing again? Did I do the thing again where I didn't mean to like hurt somebody but ended up hurting them anyway? Hello, I'm here. At it again. I guess you needed to hear it from a biased person. I just be rolling. I am grateful for the spiritual lesson. For some of you, you dated what I heard was spiritual baddies. For some of you, you dated spiritual baddies and now you get it. I also feel like you miss the friendships. You miss how your energy combined with theirs made you stable. I hope that one day you can forgive me. So I feel like this now switched. So I feel like this is for the menses out there. I hope you can forgive me one day. What did you do? Were you in the situation of not everyone is equally loved? Honestly, I have been seeing that content here and there where a lot of the men are calling other men out, where they're just like, why in the world did you place what your parents didn't do for you on somebody else? You grown now. I've been seeing that content. So maybe that's also something that you needed to hear or like a reminder. Yeah, like step out of your ego for a second, bro. I wish I could share my good news with you. And for some of you, you're missing friendships. Yeah, especially if you're the menses part of this row here. I feel like the ladies are up here, the menses are down here. Okay, cool. It kind of did its own thing. But for the menses, yeah, I think you're missing connection. You're missing friendships right now. So right now may not be the time for the love, which is fine because technically you're gonna have a lot more to learn overall, do overall by the time Jupiter goes into Leo. And I keep mentioning that primarily because I don't have the date in front of me, but the content, it will be everywhere. It's Leo energy. They will be everywhere. And even if they're quote unquote not everywhere, the energy will be known. Okay. The spiritual people will let us know. The astrologers will let us know. Anyway. So with this Jupiter and Leo energy, what I'm kind of getting is people slowly calling out the bully within all of us. How do you react to that? How do we all react to that? I think Aries placements have gotten it about a year in advance. They got a head start because they have Chiron. They're already learning so much, they're healing from so much. And healing takes a second. I don't know if you guys have seen or have watched like the spin-off to Finn and to Adventure Time with Finn and Jake, where they have Fiona and Kat. I saw the first season, but there was one episode that I thought was so real where Simon, who is technically Ice King if you've seen it, where he's just like, I have just seen all of my terrible actions and ways and thoughts of being, of who I used to be as this jerk, as this person. Give me a second. That shit was so real. I was like, dang, this adult version hits home. It's home, it's home. Anyway, let me pull a few more cards and I'll let you go. I looked at the time and I was just like, damn, I've been yapping again. I'm so attracted to you. Yeah, that's Venus going into Cancer. They want the attitude. There's gonna also be some ladies for some of you guys out there where they're just like, let me cook you a meal. Don't tell them that. Don't tell them that. Or that's like, again, you've had it like in the back of your mind being like, if like a lady cooked for me, or maybe like we went out to dinner or something. So there could be one of those nights coming up. But if you are looking for someone who you want to really take the long haul, take it slow. If not, understand it's a good time, not a long time. If you're a lady, I think we're all kind of tapping out. We're all just like, yeah, give me a second. I'll wait. I'll wait. Let me truly heal and let me just like get all of this excess energy from past lovers off of me. You have no idea. The Cancer Aquarius friends that I also have were all just like, let me just, all the lovers from the past like 5 years, just get off. Just leave. Get out of here. Scram. Scoot your boot. Bye. And sometimes if we're not like that, then we completely forget. And I think that's what hurts them, the past people, the most. The saxophone, the saxophones, they're getting louder. Yeah. This is like, wait a minute, what do you mean you forget about us? So what? You know something, so forget it. Forget it. Anyway, Aquarius, Cancer, placement, individual person, thank you so much for stopping by and trusting me with your cards again. Whenever you're watching this, I hope you have a great morning, noon, evening, or night, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye, y'all.